Let me tell you a story. Every fall, all the squirrels in an area rush. They rush to store as much food as they can underground. The acorns, the foliage, the berries that they find along the road. They'll try and compete with each other to get that and make sure that they can survive throughout the winter. During the winter, it's going to be a barren landscape. There's not going to be the luscious trees that we see in the spring or summer. There's not going to be the abundance of food that you would expect to find on a random winter day on your fridge. Squirrels, they're not like us. They need very little amount of food, but if they don't get that food, it's over. This one squirrel in particular lived in an area where a lot of squirrels lived, but not a whole lot of food wasn't found. Because of this, the increased tension, the increased pressure made the squirrel want to get this food as fast as possible. And when they were able to get enough, they put it underground and slowly wanted to chip away at it over the winter. So when the first day of winter came and it looked at its underground storage, what did it find? It found tractor tracks. It found tire marks that went over top of it, crushing all the food that it had saved up. And the squirrel was left defenseless to do anything about its situation. But was it the squirrel's fault? Absolutely not. Now, why did I tell you that story? This is a story about determination, but one also of failure. A failure that was out of the control of this squirrel. The themes and values that we can extract from stories like these bring us together, the shared human experience. I don't think a day goes by where I don't see a comment under a post that says there hasn't been a single unique human experience that's happened to all of us. But the thing is, how do we know that? It's because stories like these that are able to tell our beliefs, our memories, our experiences in a way that multiple people can relate to. It's because of stories like these that have been passed down from generations, from millennia ago. Those caveman drawings we see are an indication of how life looked hundreds of thousands of years ago, 800,000 years ago. And in a lot of aspects, if we take the time to look through them, we can see the shared values, the shared experiences that we've had. Over 100,000 years, the lesson of failure still exists to this day. Over 100,000 years, the lesson of hard work exists to this day. But that story, the picture that it paints, is different from each and every one of us in one simple distinction. And that is the distinction of life. No one person has ever led the exact same life as another. And this is a seemingly simple and obvious truth, but one that holds much more value upon closer inspection. The fact that we don't live the exact same life allows us to tell our own story, no matter how similar it is to somebody else. The memories that we have dictate the stories that we tell to our grandchildren. The story that your grandfather or grandmother told you will be completely different from the ones that you tell your grandchildren, even if they are the exact same essence. Stories bring together people from all over the world. Storytelling is the most powerful technique in all of communication. The ability to make someone relate to you is the number one tool that will allow the audience member, the listener, to engage with you on a much more personal level. If I had started this out with a story, not even a story, a paragraph that said, this is determination, this is hard work, but not all the time will it work out. By this point in the video, you would have already been zoned out. But by making characters that are relatable, making things that are interesting to you, hopefully you stuck around. But let me tell you something else. The reason that storytelling is so important, is so critical to public speaking, is the fact that each and every one of us has the ability to tell a story. No matter how boring or exciting, there will be someone willing to listen to your story. And that story is never over. Live your life with the intention of writing a story, but never be aware of it. When you apply for a new job, what do you want your employer to say about you? When you get married, what do you want your wingman, what do you want your best man to talk about? When you die one day, who is going to be reading your epitaph? And what are they going to say about you? Think about that and live your life as the person you want to be. Imagine a documentary was being made about you. What do you want the people that speak in that documentary to tell? What types of stories do you want them to impart that show your character, to show your identity? Whether that be a positive one, whether you're known as someone that is reliable, a good friend, or someone who's a change maker, a complete generational talent in all of sports like LeBron might be. What are they going to say about you? Keep that in mind every day that you wake up, that you have the opportunity to grow, to shed the old and reveal the new. Growth is never an overnight process. And by the end of your lifetime, think, who are you and how are you going to be remembered? And what does that story look like?